Timeline of what happened. The divorce was filed by Milena in January of 2025. We had split up the previous year. It was amicable. We tweeted about it on Twitter. Everyone saw that. And the divorce ended up being officially filed by her in, like I said, January. I sent Milena a 50-50 offer down the middle in April of that year.
The moment you take a journey, what an act of... The moment you enter...
So I want to do my best to provide an accurate timeline of what happened. The divorce was filed by Milena in January of 2025. We had split up the previous year. It was amicable. We tweeted about it on Twitter. Everyone saw that. And the divorce ended up being officially filed by her in, like I said, January. I sent Milena a 50-50 offer down the middle in April of that year. She did not accept it. I did not know what she wanted out of this divorce until mediation, which was actually in November. And essentially what she wanted was the same thing she wanted in trial, and that's what we have here. I warned Milena that trial would be very expensive. It would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, but still we had to go to trial, and you'll see why. So bear with me now. We are gonna go into some legal documents. What I have here is what they call Milena Midtoy-Palom's First Amendment disposition of issues. So this is essentially what she wanted. I'm gonna read the document to the best of my ability because I can't read very well, but I'm gonna explain things so everyone can kind of understand what she wanted and how it went down. Keep in mind, we each had this. This one's hers, this one's mine. We'll go over mine, but first let's do hers. Hers is a bit longer. The first thing she wanted, and by the way this works is it's essentially a line with like for a check mark and then the thing that they wanted. So the first thing that she wanted was to grant the divorce between the parties on the grounds of insupportability. This is very important, and I'm gonna explain exactly what that means right now. In Texas, a divorce can be granted on the grounds of insupportability, which is the state's no-fault divorce ground. The Texas Family Code defines insupportability as a conflict or discord of personalities between the spouses that destroys legitimate ends of the marriage relationship and prevents any reasonable expectation of reconciliation. In practical terms, it means neither spouse has to prove wrongdoing, no evidence of adultery, cruelty, abandonment, or other fault is required. The court only needs to find that the marriage has become unworkable and that reconciliation is not reasonably expected. So you can file divorce on other grounds, and I'll explain what those are. Cruelty. You can file for adultery, which didn't happen. Conviction of a felony, abandonment, living apart, etc. She filed on the grounds of insupportability. Next, that was over $100,000 they had claimed against me. The next thing she wanted, and this is one of the reasons why we had to go to trial, order Milena Midtoy-Palom's request for post-divorce maintenance for a period of 5 years from February 1st, 2026 in the amount of $5,000 a month. So she wanted me to pay her $5,000 a month for 5 years. We don't even have kids. Next, and this was the biggest one, the most important one, and it's gonna take some time to explain it because this is also why we really had to go to trial. Order Milena Midtoy-Palom be granted a judgment against Nicholas Michael Palom with specific language securing such entrance against the shares and stock held by Nicholas Michael Palom with his interests in OTK Ventures, OTK Media, and Kings Gaming Labs Incorporated. So this is essentially the crux of the entire trial. I mentioned earlier that Milena wanted a disproportionate share of the estate. She wanted a 60-40 split of the entire estate, but it was a little bit more complicated than that. What she wanted to do essentially was have her 60% be all cash and my 40% be heavily weighted in my OTK shares. She wanted about 90% of the cash reserves, plus she wanted me to pay her this post-divorce maintenance, and my 40% would be essentially all in my OTK shares, which no one really knows what those are worth. This was the biggest point of contention in the trial for me. I don't think anyone would have accepted the offer that was presented in front of them. Essentially, it would drain me to 10% cash reserves, be in debt a whole bunch of money. So I would put a lot of trust in those OTK shares being worth something someday. So that is just about half of the document. And I don't know if I should say this, but now it gets kind of funny, and I'm gonna explain to you why. Up next is a section called income taxes, and let me read this for you. Order that any refunds received from the date of marriage through the date of divorce be divided equally by the parties, with Milena Midtoy being entitled to 50% and Nicholas Michael Pollan being entitled to 50%. So if there was a tax refund, she would get half of it, I would get half of it. Makes sense, right? Order any liability from the date of marriage to the date of divorce be paid solely by Nicholas Pollan. So if there was a tax bill, I would have to pay for all of the taxes.
Well, guys, another episode of Allcraft, and this week I am extremely surprised because somehow a few years ago, Rich managed to convince Mia Malkova to start talking to him, and here we are 3 years later, is that right?
No,
welcome Mia to the show. 5?
4, he always adds a year.
Holy
but we're
shit.
on our 4th year, like halfway through our 4th year.
Yeah, it's 5.
4 years.
We've lived together for 4.5 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait.
Hey, you can't you can't do that to start off the. Also, dude,
Yeah?
can I tell you something embarrassing?
What?
Bro, she's been practicing that stupid gun thing for like days.
For what?
She thinks it looks cool. So
Yeah.
Oh, no. I
Yeah.
did this and I was practicing it. I didn't do it just then, but I thought it was funny to do to him where, like,
yeah, so I walked into the
Perfect.
room. She
Yeah.
didn't know that I was there, and she's just by herself going,
Yeah. Well, you got to look at the mirror, doing it in the mirror, right?
yeah.
Yeah, of course.
well, I was just trying to feel it.
Yeah.
Dude, it's absolutely insane. Almost as insane as on the way here.
Yeah.
She literally looks at me, notices that I don't have anything packed, looks at what I'm wearing,
Yeah.
and she goes, "Is that what you're wearing on the podcast?"
Well, yeah, I mean, look what I'm wearing. I mean, this is bullshit too.
She then goes, I go, "What?" And she goes, "You're a reflection of me." I go, "Bitch, it's my podcast."
I mean, to be fair, it does look like she got you off the side of the road. It does. It's so bad. Like, honestly, it's worse than.
Asmon's gay now.
Yeah, they do.
Do they actually?
Yeah. Oh, well, they think that. So because half of my stream is complaining about minorities and the other half is complaining about women.
Okay.
And there's like 1% that's playing video games too. And so I said that on average, men were more attractive than women.
Oh, he told me.
Right. And
Yeah.
everybody's talking about this.
Yeah.
Everybody's complaining about this. And so there's a bunch of these girls posting photos of themselves looking for approval to try to prove me wrong, but they end up proving me right. And so I'm feeling very good about this.
Okay, well.
On average, right? On average, no makeup, no plastic surgery, nothing else. I mean, like, you think about it.
On average.
Yes.
It depends on what you find attractive.
Well, okay.
Oh my God, you think he's gay?
I'm just understanding why.
Let him explain.
There is an objective. Okay, so if you look at a peacock, like a male and a female peacock,
True.
the male peacocks totally mog the females. It's not even remotely close.
Oh, yeah.
You look at any other animal except for like 3 spiders. Okay, there's like 3 spiders that, okay, the male ones are really pathetic. But other than
Like a
that,
black widow's, that's a good looking bitch.
exactly, right?
Yeah,
And there you go. It's like a goth chick or something. But like other than
Big
that,
abdomen.
yes,
Look
like
at the
you look at
thorax throughout.
which deers have the really cool antlers? The male deers.
Yeah.
Which mooses are the biggest? I think it's the male mooses.
Okay.
And so you have all these examples of all these animals that look way cooler. The male counterparts look way cooler.
Mhm.
And I feel like
Dude's a gay and a furry.
the reason why is because women, like, if you can have a kid, right? It's totally like you have an intrinsic value. So like if you're a guy, you have to flex. You have to find a reason. Why am I the perkiest peacock out there? Why am I the biggest rooster out there? The best one?
Yeah.
And for whatever reason.
Like height, strength.
Yes, exactly.
intelligence.
And so men have to adapt other types of evolutionary beneficial things. And you see this with all kinds of animals. So I'm just simply saying it. Like, if you can we go back to that frame? You see that chicken in the background right there, right behind you?
Chicken.
You know what that chicken is? That's a male
That's a
chicken.
rooster.
That's a male chicken. You know why? Because you can see he looks really cool.
Well,
That's the reason female ones get.
I think it looks like a scrotum. I don't like it, but
Well, I mean,
I
she
think
does
chickens
know
are-
what
I
if you
think
were a
chickens
female,
are
if you were a
pretty-
female chicken, it would be. I mean, like he would be.
he would be hot as
amazing.
fuck.
So hot,
Yeah.
right?
No.
And so, like, it's not really the interspecies thing, but like you can see that there's a vision here, right? And so I feel completely justified about this. I do.
Okay,
Totally justified.
But what have human males done
Uh-huh.
to peacock themselves?
Okay, well, like, let me think.
A long and exhausting day in Gaza is drawing to a close. These
This is AI
journalists
what?
are tired and hungry. It's been
Is it
several
interesting?
days since they've eaten. Some struggle not to faint. Others already have. Sometimes live on air. But they feel a responsibility to continue working. The 6 men in this tent have spent the day documenting the events on the ground. Ibrahim Jahir, Mohammed Nufel and Muamin Aliva are cameramen. Mohammed Kuraiki, Mohammed Al-Khaldi and Enes Al-Sharif are reporters. In just a few minutes, they'll all be dead. The Israeli military claimed one of them was a terrorist. Since the Hamas attacks in October 2023, Israeli strikes have reportedly killed between 235 and 310 media workers. Journalists, cameramen, photographers, and producers. The exact numbers vary depending on the source. For journalists, this war is now considered the deadliest of the 21st century. They've been killed in strikes on residential buildings and civilian infrastructure, and while working in areas that were attacked. And in some cases, the Israeli military has been accused of deliberately targeting them. The army rejects these claims as false. This is a story about Gaza in wartime, about the people reporting on this war, surviving and dying in what has been called the graveyard of journalism. That's not all. It's October 13, 2025. These 3 men are being released from detention as part of the ceasefire. Ala Asarach.
Okay. Guys. I'm watching this video impartially. Right? This is how I normally see things. Somebody makes a claim, right? The burden of proof is on them, right? I think it's not overall a good piece of journalism to make a claim. Somebody makes a claim, right? It's not founded yet, but then request a reply from the other party and be like, oh, they didn't reply to this comment, so it kind of assumes guilt. But then the initial claim wasn't founded though, right? So it's kind of hard because now the main claim, they have the burden of proof. They cannot just be dumped on the other side. They have the burden of proof. Does that make sense? Like, let's say the voicemail or the mail. I mean, if you show that and those are shown, I mean, then they did their part in that, but it seems like in this video they don't show that they did.
Is
so
a cameraman at the Palestinian news agency Al Rai. Ahmad Zakaria Badr Al-Franchi is the director of the independent online news website Watan.
Okay. Let's say, guys, I received a DM on Discord from Jason, and he said, "Suck my balls." Okay, bang, right? Let's say, right? Jason said, "Suck my balls" on Discord. Okay, and then Jordan's guy doesn't ask me to show the DM. He goes to Jason and says, "Yo, Jason, did you do that?" Jason ignores him. Then he make a video and says, "Oh, Jason said suck my balls." So we asked Jason and he said and he didn't reply. Kind of sus. But all of that is irrelevant if the initial thing is show the DM, then boom. No? I mean, that seems like it's the most rational. Because they have the burden of proof. The one that makes the claim has the burden of proof. It's how it works in everything. It's how it works in the court of public opinion, in the court of the law. If you make a claim,
like I wanted back in April and March of 2025. What we have here is the court's ruling. This is what everyone's been waiting for, so let's just go ahead and get right into it. Dear counsel, from January 12th, 2026 to January 13th, 2026, the court presided over this case and took it under advisement. The ruling of the court is as follows. Divorce is granted on the grounds of insupportability. It's good. That's what I wanted. That's what Milena wanted. It's a no-fault divorce. Next, division of community property. 50% to Mr. Pollum and 50% to Miss Pollum, with the exception of King's Gaming Lab, Starforge, ordered to be split 55% to Miss Pollum and 45% to Mr. Pollum. The court finds that the disproportionate share of those funds are warranted due, number 1, the disparity of the earning power, number 2, nature of the property involved, and 3, waste. So let me explain before everyone gets all excited. what that means. I have a very small ownership in Starforge. She gets 5% more than I do, and if you do the math, it ends up being about 15K. If you remember during Melena's disposition of issues, she had asked for a 60-40 split because of things like economic and financial abuse of the petitioner. She did not get that. The community estate was essentially just 50-50 split down the middle, with the exception of Starforge, which is about a $15,000 extra towards Melania, and it makes sense to me. I will probably earn more than her going forward, and that seems pretty fair to me. Up next, and this is very, very, very important because it has to do with my shares, Nick and nmplol are designated as constructive trustee for Miss Palom's interest. So what that means, I don't have to send her my shares, I don't have to send her cash for the shares. I will hold her shares in my name until they're sold, if and when they're sold. So that was a big, big, big deal for me. Doesn't put me in generational debt, and if they sell, they sell. Up next, attorney's fees, denied. Each party pays their own attorney's fees. Motion to seal the court records, denied.
Press freedom.
So as always, my thing's the same. Israel could save face so easily by doing some very simple shit, and they always, in my opinion, refuse to do the bare minimum, and that puts them into the other zone, which is almost automatically guilty on a lot of this shit. Because no, what I mean by save face is that, let's say just the journalism thing, right? How bad could it really be to let more journalists, whatever, to let people do the thing and journalism in? It probably doesn't take that much. And if they did, they would probably gain a lot of public points over why don't they do it? Now I automatically assume guilt.
It's an attack on our right to be informed and
It's
our
just
right
this-
to
it's
form
just
an
a,
adequate image of reality.
The vibe check. It's a vibe check. Exactly. I'm going to have to assume, unfortunately, that it's because they don't want too much truth to be out there, right? If they overly control the journalism in the area, I have to.
Lol.
Hey yo, I know what that is. I've seen some tweets.
Israel was founded 90 years
$0
ago after World War II. Judaism was founded thousands of years ago.
I've never gotten a singular dollar from any of those entities, buddy. $0.